Suzn being a dick? You being a dick? No, it's Big Bad Suzn. What are you doing? 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 Susan's hiding back there again. That was short-lived. Oh, back. What do you think? That's a hard call. You're kind of, Suzn, you're kind of getting a little rough there. Nice call, though. Yeah, just ignore. Just ignore them. There you go. That's what I do. Oh, okay. We're watching you. All right, so just a quick disclaimer. I never let these two be in a cage alone because my biggest fear is we could find one, most likely Suzn, murdered by the Vasa. Because I mean, this is not a normal situation. I mean, they were introduced to each other at 6 months, meaning the Vasa was 6 months old and Suzn was 6 months old, and I had been with Suzn for a couple months at that point, and they did not get along. I mean, it was a classic relationship of a very antagonistic, jealous kike going up against a larger bird. It didn't matter. Dude, don't go in the poop. Yeah. Where's a wet one when you need it? Yeah, guys, don't roll in the poop. Looks like I'll be doing laundry today. So anyway, so the bottom line is you know, a month ago, these two did not get along. I mean, less than a month ago, back in when we were in Florida at the Florida Renaissance Fair. And so it's been pretty much every morning letting these two play with me. And watching the two kind of get along. Not so much earlier, but now they are definitely doing a mutual, kind of a mutual thing, you know, where it's a back and forth as to who's going to be on top, who's dominant. There's definitely games being played here where she is trying to get Sombra to come and take the toy. It's kind of like the way you watch two dogs play. It's really interesting. I don't think they've observed this. I think this is just coming instinctively. Now, Bonsai does play with another dog, similar. So I do have a Pugawawa, and the other dog on the land is the same size, and those two are really fun to watch playing together. They do the ball thing. They do all typical dog play. So maybe these two, because they do watch the dogs play in the house. So maybe their behavior is just antagonistic behavior. I tell you, Sombra never takes the hint when I try to like give Sombra something. She never like takes it from me. But if it's a bit in my mouth, she'll totally take it from me. Whatever food I'm eating, Sombra wants. And if I try to give Sombra even a carrot, which she's eaten plenty of carrots, she'll totally ignore it until I start eating carrots, and then she will eat the carrot. Another note is, Sombra, it's pretty well established that Vasa is a meat eater. She totally wants to eat the USB. I give her lots of opportunity to eat USB cords in the play area, so that it gives me the opportunity, you know, to say no, and she's listening. It's pretty cool. So yeah, there's open chicken for breakfast for both Sombra and the kike here, Suzn. And so yeah, I mean, people say that this will probably compromise their kidney or liver because it's a heavy fat. So I try to keep it lean. There's only breast meat, you know, exposed. They're only eating breast. You know, we'll never know if the meat affected the kike's liver for, you know, 10 years, and then if she starts to show fatty on the liver, or it'll be in her blood work. So I'll be getting her blood work within in about a month. I'll be going in. She's 11, 12, 13 months old now. And so both these guys are going to get some blood work just to see how their livers are doing, because their diet is, you know, it's a fairly high-fat diet, relatively speaking. When I say high-fat, there's lots of almonds and pecans as treats. And that's the default munchie when we're in the truck. You know, I munch on almonds and pecans, and so naturally these guys will get one. Well, I hope this didn't go too long. We're coming up to 10 minutes in length, and boy, if you've lasted this long, you must be very obsessed with seeing two completely different species slowly get along. They're both females, and they're both around 12 to 13 months old. Just as I'm going to turn the camera off, it gets very interesting. Too funny. Need a wide-angle lens. They definitely want to play around me. As soon as I get up, it ends. So it's kind of challenging to get a wide shot, because they really just want to play. I guess I'm the safe, because I break it up, so they know that. That's interesting. They both actually want to play. Well, no, Suzn doesn't care. Suz's totally happy to play wherever, but Sombra definitely wants to be near me. because historically, if Suzn gets too obnoxious, all I have to do is point at Suzn and she actually backs off. She totally listens to me telling her to chill. As you can see, I just had to point the finger at her. She's run off. And this is her hide and seek routine with the Vasa that she was playing earlier. All right, you guys, going for an encore here, huh? Y'all done? All done? Again, kind of like showing Suzn how to play gentle, you know, with the Vasa. I'm hoping she's sort of like, if I want to have a relationship with Bevan and the Vasa and be part of the flock, I have to be a little more gentle. But she is a Vasa, and she is a kite, two of the more violent birds at play. The Vasa is incredibly violent in the, like, how quickly she moves her head. Yeah, we're talking about you. You do that. It's really interesting. They don't make much noise when they are playing. All right, that's a wrap.